I do want to talk about Braun Strowman real quick before we move on from Elimination Chamber. As I had noted, he had a great showing in this match, eliminating everyone except for Roman Reigns, the Ultimate Winner. And you would think, oh, and not only that, but he attacked Roman Reigns afterward. I missed that part. We had to stop the show. We were running short on time, Jason and I, so we stopped the show right after Roman had won, missing the fact, and I didn't find this out until later on in the day when I read someone's review of the show, that Braun Strowman laid out Roman Reigns after the match. So you would think, okay, maybe he's going to be incorporated into the triple threat match. He'll be worked into the match somehow for the Universal Championship. Obviously, that won't be the case. I doubt they would do that. And it was all about the aftermath on Raw. Like, okay, will Braun go on a fucking rampage and wreck everyone on the Raw roster because he's so mad about losing yet again? No. He had a match with Elias on Raw, who I love. Elias has become a guilty pleasure of mine over the last year on Monday Night Raw. But he's not Braun Strowman. He's not on Strowman's level. It was a forgettable 4-minute match that ended in a disqualification that Strowman won, and then he chased him out of the arena. And that was it. It looked like they were setting up something between Strowman and Elias. I mean, I was going to say for WrestleMania. I mean, WrestleMania is 6 weeks away. I'd be shocked if that was the direction they were going in. Whether it's this or even the rumored Fatal 5-Way for the Intercontinental Championship, which I love the idea of a Miz, Rollins, Balor match for the belt at WrestleMania. It doesn't need to be a ladder match. That'd be pretty cool. But the notion that we need to get a ladder match in every single WrestleMania these years, nowadays, is ridiculous, because we don't. And it really should only be brought in when it means something and when it's necessary, not just because, oh, it's WrestleMania, time to get the ladder match back on the card. No. I like the 3-way. Pushing Braun in that match, to me, feels like overkill. Elias as well. It's like the Elimination Chamber without John Cena or Roman Reigns. It screams laziness. That's bad booking right there. And seemingly the previously, scheduled, rumored matchup between Strowman and Miz has been nixed to do Miz, Rollins, and Balor. And I'm all for that. But you gotta have a proper backup plan for Braun Strowman. Your most over guy in the Raw roster, if not the entire company right now. I mean, I've been reading the reports from Dave Meltzer that they're keeping him on standby in case the Roman-Brock match doesn't go on as planned. For what reason? He already won the Elimination Chamber. I know there's now rumors of Roman Reigns, could he be suspended due to the whole drug ring thing, the drug trafficking, whatever it was, that Roman was accused of like a month ago. If the guy had any evidence of Roman Reigns being involved in that, something would have happened already. It's been over a month since that guy accused Roman Reigns. Why people are still talking about this is beyond me. I know the guy still keeps on talking about, I have evidence, but we have yet to see any real evidence at all that there is any connection between Roman Reigns and this guy that's now in jail. Why he would even bring up Roman Reigns' name, I have no idea. Maybe because he knew that Roman had a suspension on his record for something involving drugs or pharmaceuticals, whatever it might be, from 2016. I'm not sure what the connection there would be and why he accused Roman Reigns of all people, but the bottom line is that as of right now, there's no reason to point any fingers at Roman Reigns. Therefore, there's no reason to believe that he will be taken out of that WrestleMania match. If WWE had any idea, if there was any inkling of a thought that Roman Reigns could be guilty, they would not have had him win the Elimination Chamber match on Sunday. They're not going to put him in a spot to be headlined and featured prominently at WrestleMania if they thought there was a chance he could be suspended or that he could be found guilty. And even then, I mean, this is quite worse, but remember the Jack Swagger situation from almost exactly 5 years ago? He won the Elimination Chamber match. He got like a got a DUI like 2 or 3 days later. They did nothing about it, though. And I don't know if he had jail time. I don't think so. I think he got out on a bond or a bail or whatever it was. But WWE did nothing about that at all. I think they might have acknowledged it, but it was double standards because they already set in stone their WrestleMania match between Swagger and Del Rio. They didn't want to deviate from those plans, so they stayed the course, and they did nothing about it. They might have suspended Swagger a few months after that, because I know he took some time off that year, but it might have been, I think it was merely because he got hurt. I think he had like an arm injury or a wrist injury or something. I don't think they ever once suspended him. His fucking punishment was not getting an entrance at WrestleMania. Who the hell cares? He still went for the world title at the show. I'm not saying that's going to happen with Roman Reigns, because I don't think Roman Reigns is guilty. That was very clear and cut that Swagger should have been suspended or had his match taken away. they didn't want to change those plans, and they should have, because that feud sucked, and the match was completely forgettable. That whole WrestleMania sucked. That's a whole other story for another day, but Colin and I did discuss that last week here on the show, but that's neither here nor there at the moment. When it comes to Roman Reigns, the guy is going for the belt at WrestleMania. No matter whether you like him or not, he's going for the championship at WrestleMania. So with Braun Strowman, why waste him in a fatal 5-way for the IC title between guys that we've already seen work together in the last number of months? The 3-way is fine. I'm not for the multi-man matches, but a triple threat is okay, because it makes sense. Miz and Balor, Miz and Rollins, Balor and Rollins, they've all had this history. They all kicked off the Chamber match on Sunday, so they have that built in there. They had a great 3-way on Raw about a year ago. I think it was a number 1 contenders match for that very championship, for that Intercontinental title. So they have history. We know they can work well together. I'm not saying it would be a bad match if Braun was involved, but it's pure randomness, just because they have no other scheduled match for the guy. Now that raises the question, what do you do with Braun Strowman? Do you put him in a match with John Cena, which I've seen some people bring up? Do you put him in a match with Samoa Joe, if Joe's cleared to compete, which I don't think he will, which would be awful? The guy was left off WrestleMania last year for no reason, really. He had no match in the card, and he wasn't even involved in the Honor of the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. He didn't interfere in the Triple H Seth Rollins match. The guy was completely persona non grata on WrestleMania 33, despite being completely healthy this year. After having an awesome 2017, may not be a part of WrestleMania due to injury, and that really, really sucks. So with Braun Strowman, if Joe's a no-go, Cena is already scheduled for probably 2 or 3 other matches that don't involve Braun Strowman. He might be their last resort. There were also talks of putting Braun in the match with Miz. If it's a 5-way, no thanks. 1-on-1 maybe, but even then, to me, that's not WrestleMania worthy. And then there's also been the reports about him being involved in the Ronda Rousey match at WrestleMania. It seems to me that spot will now be occupied by Kurt Angle, which was also a rumor too. I think the preference list for partners for Ronda Rousey included The Rock at number 1, who they probably weren't able to get, which they still could. There's a month until WrestleMania, about 5 weeks, but I doubt it's going to happen. The Rock, then Kurt Angle, and then Braun Strowman. Because Strowman still does have that, history with Triple H from Survivor Series, that tension that was never really followed up on. He attacked Triple H after that Survivor Series main event match. Remember that? He confronted him on the next night's Raw, and then we saw nothing about it after that. That was it for Braun Strowman and Triple H. So I would hope they find some sort of meaningful spot for him on the card. He is way more over now than he was a year ago, but he was also on fire around this time a year ago in that great feud with Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns went on to win the main event of WrestleMania, while Strowman was involved on the fucking kickoff show Battle Royal that he got eliminated from halfway through. So I would not put it past them to do nothing with Strowman or not do anything, high profile with him at WrestleMania, but I'm not sure what else they would do if he's not involved in that fatal 5-way for the IC belt or facing Elias at WrestleMania, which would be a complete waste of Braun Strowman. But I don't know what else you would do with the guy, because everyone else seems to be locked and set in stone for other matches on the card.